Most bars think inventory means counting bottles, but that is only one part of it. If all you are doing is writing down how many bottles you have at the end of the week, you're still missing the real purpose of inventory. Bar inventory is about knowing what came in, what was sold, what should have been used, what actually disappeared, and where your profit is leaking. Because your bar can have strong sales and still lose money every night. You can have a packed room, good ticket averages, and a busy staff, but if drinks are being overpoured, wasted, given away, stolen, or not rung in correctly, your numbers will not tell the full story. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to do bar inventory the right way, what most bars get wrong, and how BarGuard helps make the process easier. First, you need to understand what bar inventory actually is. It is not just counting bottles. It is tracking every product your bar uses to make money. Liquor, beer, wine, mixers, syrups, juices, garnishes, kegs, and anything else that affects your beverage cost. The goal is to know four things: what you started with, what you purchased, what you sold, and what you ended with. Once you know those numbers, you can calculate actual usage. Actual usage is what disappeared from inventory. For example, if you started with 10 bottles, bought 5 more, and ended with 8, that means 7 bottles were used. But here's the problem. That still does not tell you if 7 bottles should have been used. That is where most bars stop too early. They count inventory, but they do not compare it to sales and recipes. So they know what is missing, but they do not know if the number makes sense. Real inventory management compares actual usage and expected usage. Expected usage is what should have been used based on your POS sales and your drink recipes. So if your margarita recipe uses 2 ounces of tequila, and your POS says you sold 50 margaritas, then your expected tequila usage should be 100 ounces. But if your inventory shows that 140 ounces disappeared, you have a problem. That difference could be overpouring, waste, free drinks, theft, bad recipes, or bad counting. But now you have something to investigate. That is why inventory is not just a back office task. It is a profit protection system. So let's walk through the process. Step 1 is setting up your item list. Before you count anything, you need a clean list of the products you want to track. That means the product name, bottle size, unit cost, category, and where it's stored. This matters because if the same bottle is entered 3 different ways, your reports will be messy. Tito's vodka, Tito's 1 liter, and Tito's bottle should not become 3 separate items. Clean setup creates clean reporting. Step 2 is entering your purchases. Every bottle, case, keg, or mixer that comes into the business needs to be recorded. Distributor invoices matter. Emergency store runs matter. Anything that adds inventory needs to be tracked. A lot of bars lose control here because they count what is on hand, but they do not properly track what came in during the week. If purchases are missing, your usage numbers will be wrong. That is why BarGuard has a purchase scanner. Instead of manually typing every item from an invoice, you can scan the purchase, review it, and update inventory faster. Step 3 is organizing your count areas. Before you count, separate your bar into zones: front bar, back bar, storage room, walk-in, beer cooler, wine shelves, overflow areas. Anywhere product is stored needs to be counted. The goal is to count the same way every time. If one week you count storage first, and next week someone starts at the front bar, it becomes easier to miss products or double count them. Consistency matters. Step 4 is counting full and partial bottles. Full bottles are easy. Partial bottles are where accuracy matters. Some bars estimate by tenths, some use scales, some use visual bottle levels. The exact method matters less than making sure your team uses the same method every time. If one manager calls a bottle half full and another manager calls the same bottle 70% full, your numbers will be off. Step 5 is counting everything that affects beverage cost. Do not only count liquor, count beer, wine, mixers, juices, syrups, kegs, and garnishes. If it affects what you spend to make drinks, it should be part of the inventory process. This is especially important for cocktail-heavy bars where mixers and ingredients can quietly add up. Step 6 is comparing your count to POS sales. This is where inventory starts becoming valuable. Your POS tells you what was sold, but it does not always tell you what was actually poured. This is why recipes matter. If your POS says you sold 20 old fashions, your inventory system needs to know how much bourbon, bitters, syrup, and garnish should have been used for those 20 drinks. Without recipes, you cannot properly compare sales to inventory usage. That is where BarGuard helps. BarGuard connects purchases, inventory counts, recipes, and POS sales so you can compare what should have been used against what actually disappeared. Step 7 is reading your variance report. Variance is the difference between expected usage and actual usage. If your expected usage says you should have 2 bottles, but your actual usage shows 3 bottles are gone, you have a 1 bottle variance. That extra bottle is money, and that money went somewhere. Maybe it was overpouring, maybe it was waste, maybe it was free drinks, maybe the recipe is wrong, maybe the count was off, or maybe someone is stealing product. But the report gives you a starting point. Instead of guessing, you can look at the data and ask better questions. The real aha moment is not, we have 6 bottles left. The aha moment is, we should have used 2 bottles, but we used 3. Why? That question is where profit gets protected. Step 8 is taking action. Inventory only matters if you do something with the information. If you find variance, look for patterns. Is it happening with 1 product, 1 bartender, 1 shift, 1 recipe, 1 day of the week, 1 storage area? The goal is not to accuse people right away. The goal is to find the leak. Sometimes it is a training issue. Sometimes bartenders are free pouring too heavy. Sometimes drinks are being comped but not tracked. Sometimes product is being wasted and nobody logs it. And sometimes product is walking out the door. But you cannot fix what you cannot see. That is why doing bar inventory the right way matters. At minimum, most bars should count weekly. If you are a high volume, have high liquor costs, or already suspect shrinkage, you may want to count key products more often. You do not have to count every single item every day, but your high value and high usage products should be watched closely. Premium liquor, popular spirits, draft beer, and high volume cocktail ingredients are usually where small losses add up fast. Now, if you are doing all this manually, it can get overwhelming. Invoices are in one place, POS reports are in another place, recipes are somewhere else. Counts are in a spreadsheet, and then you are trying to figure out variance by hand. That is why BarGuard was built. BarGuard helps bring the workflow together. You can scan purchases, update inventory, connect POS sales, track recipes, enter counts, and see variance reports without trying to piece everything together manually. It does not replace your POS. It adds the missing layer your POS does not give you by itself. Your POS tells you what was sold. BarGuard helps show what should have been used, what was actually used, and where the difference is. So if you want to do bar inventory the right way, do not stop at counting bottles. Track what came in, track what was sold, track what should have been used, track what actually disappeared, then compare the difference. That is how you find overpouring, waste, theft, bad recipes, and profit leaks before they get out of control. If you are still using spreadsheets, paper counts, or disconnected POS reports, BarGuard can help simplify the process. Go to barguard.app and start your free trial, because the faster you see where your inventory is going, the faster you can protect your profit.